Welcome to Adapted Towards the Children Meeting 2. We're going to go over some quick updates. It's going to be quicker now that we lost some time there. Have our second learning session, and then we're going to get into groups. So, updates. If you guys didn't see on our Instagram, or if I didn't inform you, we completed our first Switch adapted toys since the quarantine began. We've had like a couple toys adapted in other methods since the quarantine began back in March. But we haven't really been able to get through a lot of the soldering or the electrical work that really that we are used to doing in our average meetings. But thanks to Olivia, who was able to get us lab access over in the Kanoi building, we were able to go in and actually finish up these toys in just a couple of hours. And that time frame is in large part due to the groups that were able to help with the planning that happened last semester. So with the hands-on toy adapting group, they were able to help with these two dinosaurs right here, help figure out what toy adaptations might be best for those, muffling sound, figuring out where the buttons would best be placed. And those were each done in like 2 hours by Olivia. And I was able to complete the beep bell, which was planned out by the virtual toy planning group. And I actually ran into a snag partway through because one of the plans that we had, one of the wires that we thought was something ended up not being something. But thanks to the plans, I was able to really quickly fix that around and get that completely done. So hopefully these will be good to go with just a little bit more polishing and finishing up. But yeah, I just wanted to emphasize that I know the group projects can kind of feel like not a lot's happening since we're doing it virtually and everything, but there is a lot of good that can come out of this. And even better, because we were able to kind of get our foot in the door, literally, with the lab access, we will hopefully be able to get members of the hands-on toy adapting group access to the lab to help finish up their own adaptations. So we'll coordinate more with that once we get into groups, but hopefully you guys will be able to get some experience with soldering, working with electrical tools, a lot of different things to actually complete these toys. And another thing, we've been contacted by a few more organizations, some people who've been doing their own adaptations, some people who work in adaptive sports equipment, just like a few different people who want to like exchange ideas and stuff and maybe help out if they can. So it's all about branching out, and I'll give you guys more updates on that as they come. But we've been getting pretty popular apparently. And so now we'll get into our learning session. So the theme of this week's is why we do what we do. Besides it being a good cause, there are a number of factors that play into why our work is often needed by a lot of families and schools. And so we'll be getting to the expensive alternatives to our adapted toys and why the projects we make are so important. So why do we do this? Again, besides being a great cause, this is kind of a necessity to a lot of parents, schools, programs, families, a lot of different people, because toys is one of the few things that like a child can do on their own without supervision. And so if their child isn't able to interact with a toy independently, there's only so much you can really like do on your own without a parent or guardian being there. And so our services are meant to help out these families, which are often not able to purchase their own toys for a number of reasons that we'll get into later on, and programs which are often limited in funding, such as Glass, for example, who can't purchase all the toys they want because of their high class capacity and low funding and stuff like that. So um, the work we do helps out a good amount of people for a number of reasons, and so what would happen if we weren't adapting toys? The main alternative is to basically purchase specialized toys from different toy manufacturers, and they typically charge a lot for these pre-adapted toys. I've kind of went over this a little bit into the call out, but I kind of want to like spend a quick part of the meeting focusing on this. They charge a lot of money for these pre-adapted toys, and the toys themselves aren't anything special. It's simply the adaptation that's making it cost so much. This might be due to the specialized market and everything. It's not that big of a market that you're selling to, so I guess you need some way to make money, but that doesn't justify it, especially in the sense of these families with when this is like their main option. So Yeah, we're going to be going to that right now as we play a small mini game. The Price is Right. This was suggested to me by Madison. If this format doesn't work out, you can blame her. Anyway, I'm kidding. So yeah, basically, if you've never played The Price is Right, basically how you play is you guess the price of, in this case, the specialized toy. And if you can be the one who comes the closest to the actual price without going over, you get a point. And the person with the most points at the end wins. People will submit their guesses via the chat. I'll be going through it just to kind of see, like what people are guessing. And yeah, in terms of what they win, probably not going to win much. If you're in my group, I guess I can give you priority over which toy you choose. I don't know. I thought about this price thing last second. Anyway, so yeah, I'll give up a toy, for example. So if I put up a beat bell that costs $50 and we have a person that suggests 48, 49, and 51. The person who has 49 would be the closest because the 51 person went over and 49 ended up being the closest. So pretty self-explanatory. If there's anyone who doesn't understand, feel free to DM me or something. But yeah, submit your answers to the general chat. It doesn't have to be private. And yeah, so let's get started with some examples. ABC Elmo. It's basically just a stuffed Elmo toy that sings the ABCs. I'll give everyone a few seconds to put their suggestions in the chat. We have $55. We have 40. Oh, geez, chat's going fast. We have $49, $45. Really, guys, so much just for an Elmo that sings? 90. Oh man. Oh man, Madison. Alyssa says 49. We have 59. Andre, I saw you going through the PowerPoint before. I don't know if we can allow you to play this. I'm kidding. $60, 48, 65, 70, 48. Oh my God, there's so many numbers. Okay. The actual price is $70. So yeah, it really costs that much just for a simple toy. And let's see, we have JP coming in at the closest with right on the money. I'm going to mark this. Hold on. Let's see if I could do this real quick. Or no, I'm not going to do that. Never mind. Sorry. So yeah, our first point goes to JP with $70 on the money. Our next toy, pie in the face. Just your average pie in the face toy. I don't know if you guys have played this at home. It's not. I don't think it's anything too motorized. It's just a little hand that comes up. You put whipped cream in the hand, and then you guys play a game of splatting each other in the face. I've never played the game, but I don't judge if that's your thing. It's apparently a fun game for home. So what are the guesses here? So we have 35, 40, 50, 60. Ooh, just going up. 65 is the highest. We have 69 as the highest currently. Yeah, okay. So they all seem to be like at lowest around 30, at the highest around like 60 or 70. Yeah, about 70. Actual price, $140. No one came, well, one person came to half that at $70. I guess that would be, let's see, who guessed? Michelle guessed 69. And I believe, yeah. Wow, that's, yep. Seeing some reactions in the chat. Then that's not even the most expensive one on this list. So moving on, we have the activity gym. Basically, five small toys that go up above a child so they can lay on their back and kind of play. There are mirrors, balls, lots of different things. The ones, I'll give you guys a hint, I guess, as to how bad this is. The ones at Glass are handmade. So they don't even buy these on their own. They make them and give them out to kids. It doesn't look like anything special, right? It's just a bunch of small toys hanging from, honestly, what could be a stepladder. Or, well, not actually a stepladder, but you get what I mean. We have 120, $500. Okay. That's actually not, yeah, okay. I'm not gonna say that's so crazy or that much of a stretch. 350, 250. Oh man, so many people are getting comfortable with the triple digits now. That's crazy, guys. All right, the actual price, 260. I feel like I may have made you guys a little bit too ambitious, but Madison got it directly at 260. Yep. All right, that's, yeah, okay. I haven't seen it. I'll be honest, I haven't seen anything above like 500 or 400, I think, at least. I don't even know 300, but yeah, like these toys are crazy expensive. They are nothing too special aside from the adaptations. So yeah, just want to emphasize that. Llama Llama Choo Choo. Clearly a very popular name based on that toy. I would pull up the descriptions if I wasn't screen sharing right now. Let's see. 69, 59, 120, 170. Ooh, a lot of people going high with this one. 160. All right. Giving everyone a few more seconds. And it's $50. So I did go down a bit. And it seems like most people did too. So I'll put this in chat so I know how to split it up. All right, so who was right on it? We have, I see 59. I think that was it. Yep, we have 50, or no, or yeah, 59. No, wait, no, that went over. I know how to play this game. Did no one get under? Hold on. Yeah, no one went under 50. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I wouldn't go that crazy, but I don't want to limit your guys' expectations. So $50 for a small stuffed animal toy. Adapted color spin out. This is also a kind of, I've seen these toys around. They basically just they're basically just like kind of like a place to hold your pen in order, and then you can kind of create different patterns by spinning the toy around, by like spinning the gauges and everything. It's like a little gear system. I don't even know if this is anything electronic necessarily. I think it varies. But let's see. Who's going to come in for this round? We have 45, 130. 130 being the highest. A lot of people around the 70s. All right, let's see. 3, 2. Okay. It is 140. $140 for a toy that might not even be motorized. So let's see, who was closest? I think, oh wow, we had one person at 139, I think. Did I miss it? 130, I mean. Madison. Okay. So Madison comes in with another point. We have a familiar character, mini musical roadster racer. This toy is mainly meant to talk and sing, and about what you'd expect from most adapted toys. Or not adapted toys, but just like stuffed animal toys. All right, can you give everyone a few more seconds? 3, 2, 1. Okay, $60. So these things kind of vary a lot. I saw someone come in after me. That's cool. Getting through chat's really not fun. 80, 70. Oh man, you guys guessed high with this one. 65, 57. That's the closest so far. 57. All right, that's the closest. So that's another point for them. Congrats. And now, My Piggy Piper. Similar thing. Nothing too special. Let's see what people guess. What kind of varying toys do we have here? Or varying prices do we have here? Because it's Disney. Yeah, you're not wrong. All right. 3, 2, 1. And the price is $60. So yeah, these kind of things are kind of bottoming out at a similar price. Madison, oh no, we got John closest at 59. Oh, someone right on with 60. Same point as Sophia again. Nice. All right, that's another point. We have 2 members tied for the highest. And now some members might remember this one. Yeah. Basically, we've adapted this toy before. It's normally not that expensive. I even showed it at last week's meeting. It lights up, it dances, it bobs its head. Nothing too crazy, but how much would it cost? We have a few people going around 60, I see. I'll give it 3, 2. I only have a couple left, guys, I'm pretty sure. 3, 2, 1. It is, I'll say $70. So, because that was the current price listing, we have Sophia over at 60, closest so far. And that's it. That was Sophia over at 65. That was the closest. But, and I'm going to counter this one, but don't worry, guys. We actually got it for a cheap price because normally it's $90. They gave it for the lucky low price of $70 for a plastic toy. Isn't that just so generous? I'm almost done. Toy Sloth. Pretty similar to most of the toys we've seen so far. It's plastic. It has a good amount of buttons on it. Pretty sure you might be able to even do some things with the arms there based on the design of them. No one's gotten over 2 points so far. As I keep on my ever so professional notes app. And $140. So, oh, whoops. So let's see who came the closest. Sorry to give a warning there. 115 from JP. And that ended up being it. So JP comes in with a second point at, yeah, 2. Buzz Lightyear, another Disney one. Is that going to jack up prices? It doesn't look too pretty with the that giant wire sticking out of his chest there. I don't know if I'd pay that much for this, but it's walking. So does that jack up the price at all? All right, I'm going to call in 3, 2, 1. It's $70. $70 for a Buzz Lightyear toy. I'm pretty sure that's above average. Andre, oh, soon coming in at 60. Kylie at 60. Oh, no, JPL again at 70. JP, are you looking at the slides? I know you have access to them. Yep. For what reason? For what reason exactly? Or wait, no, sorry. Wait a sec. I went way too far up in the chat. I'm so sorry. Thought this would go smoother. My bad, guys. I'll just fetch this one. I'm sorry. Moving on. Aquadome. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry. You got it. Thank you for calling me out on that, JP. I was looking at the wrong part of chat. Oh, so we have a third point now. All right. Awesome. Sophia Gallic. Thank you. So Aquadome. How much would this one cost? I'm pretty sure it's the last one. So for the final round, we have a little sensory tome toy that you press down, I'm pretty sure, and it just lights up and has little textures and bubbles and everything. Looks fancy. You never know how much it could cost. All right, it's the last toy. I don't know if anyone, best thing I think we can end with is a tie here. Someone's at 3 points. Let's see, Sophia's at 3 points. Can anyone at least tie with her? Let's see. So 3, 2, 1. 190. We have 65, 30, 115 from Caroline. 120 from Natasha. 20 from Kylie again, or Kylie too. Oh, Sophia had 150. And Sophia got that point. So yeah, but it's Zofia Zofia Gallic who wins with 3 points. Congrats! You won the makeshift Price is Right game that we put together for our presentation. Thank you, Andre, for your applause emoji. Congrats. Hope you enjoy bragging rights. Yeah, okay, but getting back to it, that was just a bit of an interlude right there. This leaves parents in kind of a tough spot, as I've kind of been emphasizing with all these toys back here. As I'm sure you can imagine, these things are not that special. If anything, a lot of these toys are sold for half the price before they're adapted. So yeah, this kind of leaves you with a few options. You can either pay for one of these really expensive toys that we listed here, unsuitable. You can get an unsuitable standard toy that comes at a low price, but your child might not be able to interact with it as well. Um, but totally understandable if that's all you can afford. The rare suitable toy that comes up every now and then that might already include giant buttons in its design, or might be able to apply certain sensory stimulus. We were able to explore those a bit last semester in one of the meetings we had. But yeah, so generally there are probably a couple other options out there, but generally this kind of boxes you into a couple options that you can work with. And since, as I'm sure you guys can imagine, this is just a small part of these people's lives, like the toys they have. So when you pair that up with like a lot of Purdue buildings, for example, not being wheelchair friendly in a few cases, and a bunch of policies out there that don't make it harder, or that don't make it any easier for these people to be able to maneuver around different cities. That kind of just puts them in a hard place. And so ultimately what we try to do here as college students is just try to make the world a little bit more accessible to a community that's often overlooked. It's not a ton, but it's something. And as you can just see here, the alternatives are not great. So that is one of the main reasons why we do what we do. And it's not all about the toys. I wanted to take a moment to highlight the Switch, the button project that we have going on, because without the button, a lot of these toys are basically useless. A lot of these toys do have Switch adaptations. So as you can see here, some of the ones we worked on last week, all Switch adapted. Over here, Switch adapted. Like with the sloth and everything. So it's not like one is useless without the other. And I just kind of wanted to emphasize how important this button project is for us. And over here, I just include a small example of another type of controller that Xbox developed for different people with disabilities. So it's meant to be like a one size fits all kind of thing. Very versatile with the things it does. I would definitely recommend looking into this project if you can. It's really fun. It's really fun to watch how it works. So not really a bonus round, but I just wanted to kind of mention here some of the alternative prices of the buttons themselves. You could find them on Etsy or eBay for $15 and up. There are a few people who list them for just as much as the ones down here. Adaptive Tech Solutions, one of the places I got these toys before, $30 for just a button. Microsoft is 50, Flaghouse 65, and then one of the Big Mac buttons that our partner at Glass uses, we found a listing of those for $135 for a plastic button. And in the case of the Big Mac, it does record a voice and repeats it back to you, but that's nothing special. One of the toys we've adapted before, which costs like $60, does that exact same thing. So yeah, and I just wanted to mention also, speaking of like adaptive tech solutions, if you were to look up most of these toys, I got all of those toys I mentioned from the first couple links that I found on Google. And I'm okay with mentioning that because it shouldn't be hard to find these types of toys. If you search up adapted toys, you shouldn't have to go to Etsy or eBay or some third-party seller to find toys like this. It should be just as easy as any other toy, basically. And so while we're not necessarily a multi-million-dollar company, we can still do our best to provide our best options to these families. And so, yeah, adaptive tech solutions, one of the first things that pops up. I believe I forget the name of the other one, but there are a few places that pop up. Microsoft has a pretty popular button, but $50 for a plastic button, that's nothing special. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight the button project here. And yeah, hopefully this project works out and we can provide a stable button that works for a lot of different families. Because while Glass and a few of our partners do have their own buttons, we would like to provide our own just to kind of keep up with the toys that we're giving them, if that makes sense. But yeah, thank you guys for dealing with that presentation. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about how overpriced and crazy a lot of these things are, and gives you a little bit more perspective on what it is that we do and why we do, like what other options there are out there. I'm going to start putting everyone to groups right now, and we're going to reconvene as we usually do at 8:25. All right, cool. So today we're basically going to be going through our toy options, and then we're going to allow you guys to choose which toys you want to adapt for the semester. Everyone's going to be able to take one home for them to their dorm or apartment, whatever, and they'll be able to adapt it at home and during meetings. You guys know Joel. I've explained it a couple times. If you have any questions, though, feel free to ask. So I'm going to run through all the toys right here, show you some pictures, explain some ideas that we had for potential adaptations. Of course, you could do whatever you want, as long as you confirm it with us. But yeah, we'll give you some options here. And then we're going to have you fill out a Google form for the toy that you would like to adapt and all that. And we're going to finish it off with adding you guys all to a group chat. So this is going to take a minute, so we'll run through this real quick. So as you can see here, we have 16 toys, 17 if you count that we have 2 of these, so 16 types of toys that you could take home and adapt. So try to keep all these in mind, which ones stick out to you, which ones you think you'd like to tackle. And when the Google form gets sent out, you'll be able to select 3 that you would like to adapt the most. So let's get started. So we have a small toy Ford Mustang right here. It's from my brother who was able to donate this. It's just a small light up and sounds car, I believe. Once you push down on this little button right here, this little piece actually comes out, and but that doesn't really do anything. It just reveals the button placement underneath. There's nothing too crazy about the car. It's not motorized or anything. You just kind of roll it across the floor. And basically when you press down the hood, it is able to light up and do some sounds, like some honking and stuff. So basically just your average toy car and everything. Takes standard buttons, just giving you a look at the underside there. Yeah, that's Ford Mustang. These toys were adapted by Madison last semester. I just looked, or not adapted, they were donated by Madison last semester. They're called the Think and Learn Movi. I believe that's how you pronounce that. They're just nothing to, can anyone else not see the images? Can you guys see this? I'm on Google Photos right now. Can you guys see that?
I can see it now.
Yeah,
okay.
no, I can.
Oh, you couldn't before?
We saw the form before.
The form? So
like the Google form.
Okay, did you see the car?
No.
Okay, let me know if you guys can't see the stuff, because it's gonna make this real awkward real quick. Okay, again, Ford Mustang again doesn't do anything unless you press down this little button up top here. Button or batteries go in the bottom right here. Not motorized or anything. You could just roll it around your own. Quick recap. Again, okay. Small robots were donated by Madison last semester. We have 2 of these, so if anyone's really interested in these, 2 of you will be able to take them home. We have 3 buttons on the front right here, and 2 on the, I believe these are buttons. I'm pretty sure they're buttons. We haven't actually used these yet, so we're not entirely sure what they do. We're pretty sure they just light up and roll around and probably make some noises, given that there's an ABC thing on the front. I'm gonna guess it's singing the ABCs, but this will be fun to just kind of figure out what the toy does, and you guys will be able to explore what that might entail. Not entirely sure what we could do with this one since it does roll around on its own. I don't know if we'd want to disable that because they are such big wheels, but it's part of the fun that comes up later. So some pretty cool, clean looking toys right here. And yeah, so got a few more looks at it right here. And yeah, these are 2 buttons at the top, I remember. And it balances based on the small wheel in the back. And yeah, so we have a small Hess truck here. This has been around for a couple semesters in the club. We had someone open it up on the bottom, and there's some pretty complex wiring underneath because these 4 buttons all activate a different type of sound and light function. So basically you have the 4 buttons on top, and there's 4 different types of lights and sounds features. It doesn't roll on its own. That would be the same thing as the Ford Mustang. The person would move that around too. Nothing too crazy right there. But anyway, you get some more views. It wasn't particularly screwed in correctly. That's why this is kind of angled downward there. Take standard buttons on the batteries on the bottom. If you guys need batteries for this and we don't provide them to you, let us know and we can schedule anything or something. But we're not going to ask you to put in your own batteries if you don't want to. Small triceratops. This is actually similar to the 2 dinosaurs that we showed off before. This basically just lights up and walks on its own and makes some noises. So it roars and walks across, and it's only accessible through this tiny button at the top. So there's no on and off switch. It's just the tiny button. So like once you push it down, it kind of stays on and walks. And then once you press it again, it turns off. Oh, also quick note. I know some of you guys still have your toys claimed from last semester. Like someone had the unicorn, another person had a little train toy. Those are fine. You can keep those with this semester unless, or if you don't want to, and in which case you don't have to fill out the form that I showed off earlier. That's totally fine. It's only if you want a new toy basically, or didn't already have one. So we have a little Mini Cooper Road Rippers toy. This basically, I think it has little suspension things underneath. I could be wrong there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these kind of like raise up and down, so it will vibrate pretty violently. And it has these 4 buttons on the top in the shape of a paw print, I guess. And they all have lights up and sounds. So standard toy there. Pullback cars. These have been with us since the beginning of the semester. Should be a very easy adaptation given that we have 4 of them and we've already adapted one of them. So like, I'm pretty sure it was this one that we've adapted before. Basically, it's just a small pullback car. You can see this little mechanism holds the gears and suspension inside. The trick is trying to get inside there. And then like, because it did require like a little bit of brute force and leveraging to not like fully break it. We don't want to break the plastic casing. We just need to get inside, open it up enough to mess up the gear system so that way it doesn't pull back and everything. But other than that, other than like the leveraging and brute forcing of it, we do know how to adapt these. It's pretty simple. If you didn't want to take on anything crazy challenging this semester, this would be a good one that we could give out. Keyboard, this is nothing too crazy. It's just a little small computer keyboard. It's wireless. I believe it connects via Bluetooth. We haven't connected this to anything as of yet. But if someone would want to, like, if anyone's good with computers and would want to try and hooking this up to their own system, see if they can get it to work, we could work on adapting it. But yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. This little sensor up front. It might not even end up being compatible with things, but we can still try it out. It is pretty old. Standard foot pedals, this one with a racing game, and based on how much you push down, like in the racing game and like actual cars, when you push down, it goes further, goes faster. And the steering wheel, this is an actual Xbox compatible controller. So this can go a number of ways. You can try and connect it with video games. You could try and make it its own thing by maybe attaching sound boxes, maybe having it interact with other toys, similar to the pedals. There are a lot of different types of buttons on it. So we wouldn't be asking anyone to like make sure everything has a feature. Like it's not like A, B, C, X, Y. C isn't a controller. That's not an Xbox button. But we're not asking like you to make every single thing a feature. But if you were able to get it to that, maybe it steers one of the toys, or maybe you just press one of the general buttons and it makes a toy light up. It can go a number of ways, or it could be its own self-sustaining toy on its own. Maybe just having like a fun little steering wheel simulator could be kind of fun for kids. Just something to pretend you're being in a car with. That could be neat. Have a little Xbox logo right there. Some little clamps underneath. This is meant to go on like desks and stuff, so that might be a good thing to look at. Maybe you can attach to certain wheelchairs and things. All right, so now I'm on snap circuit system, if you guys can see that. Basically, this is just a small, it's like a little science fair kit, nothing too crazy. We have a tiny music player, has some 5 buttons, nothing too crazy. A small stuffed shark that when you squeeze it, it has a little voice box inside, and it'll sing Baby Shark. if you're ever listening to that, you can take that toy. It is very simple though, I will say. It's an easy toy, but it might be very dreadful in more than one way. We have some toys that we have carried over from last semester. So I think I'm going to share this PowerPoint. Yeah, okay, we are kind of running low on time too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of run through these last few toys as examples, and I'm going to share the PowerPoint in my next email, or maybe I'll share the PowerPoint to the group chat I want to create, and then I'll have you guys fill out the form. So you guys will be able to see what the toys actually look like with different pictures and stuff. So you'll get a full list and all the pictures. So yeah, so we have a few different types of toys. Light up and dance ones, nothing too crazy. We have our own stuffed Elmo, similar to the Baby Shark one, and you just squeeze it and it sings. And finally, we have a slot car figure 8 track. So if you guys remember that from last week's meeting, that was basically just a little car that goes in a figure 8 loop and at the press of a button. So that would most likely just be a switch adapted one, maybe something to control the speed if possible. There's a number of ways you can go on that one too. I know the cars jerk around a lot. But we have a good amount of options for you guys this semester, and we're hoping that you guys get a toy that you end up enjoying. I'm sorry that I wasn't able to show all of them off, maybe even give all of them that great of descriptions, but what I'm going to do now is just to kind of round things out, since we can't fill out the Google form yet because you guys didn't. Is everyone in the group me? Who here is in the group me? Just, yeah, if you're not in the group me, are you guys gonna join the, well, whatever. Okay, I'm gonna call everyone back soon. If you guys didn't end up joining the group chat, I will, and I will reach out to you later, I guess. So thanks guys for coming out. Sorry this wasn't the smoothest meeting. I'll send the PowerPoint and pictures in this group chat later. And yeah, and I'll send the Google form. So have that filled out. I'll just let you know, try to fill that out as soon as you can, and we'll assign everyone a toy pretty soon. So yeah, thanks guys for coming out. If you have any feedback and would like to fill out the form, you're more than welcome to fill that out over here to the right. The link is down below if you don't have the QR code scanner. Social media links are in the top left, but that's it for this week. So thank you guys for coming out. Sorry this is a little bit rougher of a meeting that usually doesn't happen. So if anyone has any questions, you're more than welcome to stick around, but otherwise you're free to go.